Hi, everybody. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up. And it is Tuesday night at 8. So it is time for our live. If you're on, you know the routine. Give me a shout out, a like or a love. Let me know you're here. I was going to try to zoom in a little bit, but of course I can't because there's some pop up on my phone, which is what I use for my camera. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to hop on and then we're going to get started. Hi, Shirley. Good to see you. There I am. Yes, I had a little bit of technical issue. Got everything set up and then it just went bleep and went away. Hi, Betty. Good to see you guys. How is everyone? Hi, Janine. I am still tired from my weekend and I am headed right back into another one. Hi, Debbie. It's still raining in Vermont. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I mean, I think you said you needed the rain, but wow, that's a lot of rain. Hi, Verna. Hello, Maryland. Alabama, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Excuse me, my voice cracked there. All right. We are going to be playing with fresh cut flowers tonight. But you know, I got to go through all that little business share stuff, right? Hi, Sharon. So if you're wondering what these cards are, if you haven't seen before, these are my just cards. And every month I do a set of 5 cards that I call just cards, and they're fairly simple. I try to keep them as much as I can to just maybe adding a greeting. Everything else is designer paper, layers, die cuts, embossing, and embellishments. So for instance, this one, you just have the happy anniversary. Everything else is cut for you. Here, this is all die cutting. You just need a happy birthday. Now I did emboss that in white, but you could stamp it in white or emboss it in a different color. This one has a little bit of stamping on it besides the greeting, right? This one is just the greeting. And then this one has some more stamping on. This is our Halloween card. But the way you get these cards is you can purchase the class outright from me for $15, and it is available as an in-person or to-go class, right? We do ask for $4 postage if you are doing the to-go class to help get them to you. Hi, Valerie. Oh, good. I'm glad you could find me too, Shirley. Or you can earn it by placing a minimum $30 product order on my website, which is addictedstamper.stampinup.net. And the September hostess code. This is very important. You really need to add the September code when you place your order, because otherwise I don't necessarily catch it when I'm going through to pull everyone for the class. And I can't always get Stampin' Up to add them on. They're cracking down on that. So I know there's a few of you that have put up some orders in this month and you didn't put the code on. So I'm trying to catch them as I can, but I won't always be able necessarily to do that. So make sure you're adding that host code. That's the trigger that tells me you want this particular class. And then at the end of the month, we cut. The class is always the second Wednesday of the month. In October, it's the 12th at 3 o'clock. Hi, Connie. So if you are interested in this, you just have to place that order by September 30th. And then we cut, and postage is usually by check. I asked for a check just to keep the costs down from the fees and everything, but we can work something else out if we need to. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to tell you? Weekly deals. Tomorrow there'll be a new weekly deal up, right? Can't wait. And if you get in there at the right time, like earlier in the morning, you may be able to shop both this existing week's weekly deals and next week's weekly deals, because they kind of overlap due to us being a global company. So you might want to check those out in the morning and, you know, do a little double dip there if you want to. World Card Making Day, October 1st. Hopefully you've registered for that. It's going to be fun. Do me a favor, drop me a note here or over on my Facebook page if you have registered, because I'd love to know who's going to be watching with me, even though we won't be in the same location. And I want to make sure if you have registered that you've got the PDF information for what to cut and things like that. But there's these 3 great stamp sets that are going to be featured in World Card Making Day event. The Warm Welcome is brand new. Here it is blown up for you. So it is a die and stamp set bundle, and it's $50.25. I think Corinne asked me that one time, and I didn't have this paper with me at the time. And then the other 2 are Cottage Wreath and Cottage Rose. If you buy any of those bundles between now and the end of September, you earn the free iridescent pearls, but you do have to add them into your order. So don't think it'll automatically be added if you're doing it in my store. You do have to add them onto your order, and then it deducts the cost from them before you check out. All right. Phew, right? I also have one spot left in my Christmas Stamp Stack. This is our mini stack for September. I do a new one every month, and it's 4 cards, 3 each of each design. So you end up with 12 cards and envelopes. All the die cutting's done for you. All the embossing's done for you. You get the ribbons, you get the embellishments, you get a $15 product goodie bag in your kit, and you get a full color PDF instruction sheet. So I can do this to go as well. The cost of the class is $30. 15 of that comes back to you in product. There is an $8 postage charge for that if you're doing it to go. Otherwise, I have a class on September 30th, and there is still room in that class at 6:30. So tomorrow's the last day to register for this. And as I said, I have one spot left. So if you want it, grab it. All right, we are going to play with fresh cut flowers. Let me just check my comments here. Thank you for sharing, Sharon. Love the hi, Connie. Yes, you did put the code in, Shirley. I've got you on my list. Registered and ready to go. Awesome. Pat Williams. Hello from Alabama. We have another friend from Alabama. Now, do you and Pat know each other, Marilyn? All right. So, did you get the PDF, Marilyn, that gives you the cutting instructions if you want to cut and play along with us for World Card Making Day? So fresh cut flowers you're going to find on page 65 in the annual catalog. And this set caught my eye from the very beginning. As a matter of fact, the first card we're going to make tonight, I'll show you how I made it before this promotion came out. Okay, Marilyn, if you can get me your email address, I'll make sure you get it. I'll make sure I send that over to you. Or if you have a demonstrator you work with, maybe reach out to them if you prefer to do it that way. So Perfect Partners is a promotion that we have going on right now. There are 6 stamp sets that are in the annual catalog that do not have that are not bundled. They do not have dies in the annual catalog. But these 6 sets, and it is the Yeti, the Waterfall Canyon, the This Birthday Piggies, the trimming. How about trimming? Trimming the tree bundle. And then Apple Blossoms and the Fresh Cut Stems. So these dies are only available during September. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's what we've been told. You can get the bundle and save the 10% if you'd already own the stamp set, or you can just pick up the dies. But we're going to play with fresh cut flowers, and we're not going to do a lot of coloring. I think sometimes when people see a stamp set like this, they're like, oh, look at all that coloring. I don't really want to do all that coloring. Anybody here like that? Oh, you did get it. Okay, all done, she says. All right, excellent. Okay. Well, here's the card I made to share prior to knowing that those dies were coming, because we don't always have advance notice. And it's a black and white with a pop of color is like what I call these types of cards, right? Because we're using the perfectly penciled designer series paper, the black washi tape that's in the pack from the Halloween products, and then the fresh cut flowers just stamped along with a little bit of Parakeet Party. By the way, if you hear some die cutting work or banging being done, my darling sweet husband is here helping me get ready for my retreat that I'm leaving for Thursday morning. My girlfriend was here all day helping me cut, and yes, so we're down to the wire, and I'm trying to get everything done, so maybe I can go to bed tomorrow night. We'll see. All right, so we're going to make this pretty card, but we are actually, now that I have the dies, we're going to actually cut those out and pop them up, I think. Hi again. Oh, you love to color. Oh, good, Shirley. I have to be in the mood. And I sometimes will stamp a bunch of images and then go sit in front of the TV and color, right? So we have a piece of basic black. It is cut 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to crease that with my bone folder. Of course, it's scored at 4 1/4. And then I have just a layer of the Parakeet Party. That is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. You do not have to write these measurements down. And if you've been stamping for a while, you can probably look at the card and figure out what they are, because I will put the measurements for you down underneath in the video description when we're done. Okay. So that's just going to go on our card front. We have 2 5 1/4 by 4 pieces. One's going to be our inside layer, and one is going to go here on our card front. And again, this is the perfectly penciled designer series paper. So one side is more black with white pattern, and the other side is a white background with the black patterns. But if you like to color, this is a great pack of paper to have, because you can color this with your watercolor pencils. You can color it with your blends, your Stampin' Write markers, even your pastels, right? Excuse me, I'm gonna take my jacket off real quick because all of a sudden I'm very warm. All right, so. All right, so we're just gonna put this on the strip here and then mount this. Just going to leave the tiniest border of white on the left side. Okay. And then I have the washi tape. Now this comes in the Gorgeous Grape, the Parakeet Party, the Pumpkin Pie, and of course the black. It's not just for Halloween. Does anybody have the fresh cut flower set? Hi, Carol. All right, and then I'm going to just snip that off. I don't cut it even because sometimes it lifts up, and this way I have the opportunity to add a little adhesive over those tails, and hopefully that will keep it in place, right? So that's why I wrap it around. I don't take it too far around, but just enough that I can ensure it's going to stay in place. And of course, that layer is going to go on our card front. Then I have our strip of Parakeet Party and a strip of basic white. So the fresh cut flowers is what we're using here. The Happy Birthday comes from the Artistically Inked set. That is my favorite Happy Birthday. I like the bold font. I like how nice you have the bundle. Awesome. That's great. Shirley, well, you know, you can still get it before the end of September and get the bundle. And then our inside greeting, which is going to be hope each moment of your day is as special as you are, comes from the Garden Birdhouses set. And that's a great set too. I did a class with that. I'm not sure how long ago that was, but it's been a little minute. I'm going to stamp that happy birthday, of course, in our memento. I kind of like that Stampin' Up brought out the dies for those stamps that didn't have them in the catalog. That looks pretty good to me. I often give myself 4 chances. I did cut an extra piece just in case tonight. Yes, be sure to like, give me a thumbs up. Like, thumbs up is the equivalent of a like over here, right? Give me a thumbs up, share the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not a subscriber, because that helps YouTube know that you like what we're doing here, you like what you're seeing, and keeps me going. All right, so then on the inside, what I did is I stamped it in the Parakeet Party. And then I put the silhouette stamp inside as well. We're going to do that right there. That's right, Connie, you took that class. That was a fun class. And then we're going to grab that silhouette stamp. Right after I lay my thumb in the ink pad. I know none of you ever do that, right? I am a bit of a messy stamper. I probably spend, I don't know, quite a bit of time cleaning my studio in between projects, just because everything goes everywhere, right? And then we're going to press that down really well so we get a nice black image. Another great way to ensure you get a good black image is to use the Stamparatus, because if it does come out a little light, you can just re-ink it and stamp it again. Okay, there's definitely black on my hands, and I have jeans on. I'm just going to rub my hands on my jeans. When I first joined Stampin' Up, over 18 years ago, our aprons were black, and I said, I know why, because when we were in workshops helping folks and we got ink on our hands, we could just rub our hands on our aprons and no one would know. So that's the inside of the card. Of course, this is going to go across the bottom, but now we're going to stamp that big image and we're going to die cut it, and I'll show you those fabulous dies that are now available. Large stamp, I like to take my ink pad to the stamp versus the other way around. This way I can see that I'm getting ink on all the rubber. Okay. And then we're just going to stamp this on here. And I do have a cushion under me, even though this is red rubber. Doesn't hurt. And it just gives you a little bit more give to get a nice image. Now let me pull the die set. So this is the dies that are available during September only. They're going to be messy, not too bad. Here's the big one that we're going to use now. And then look at all of these. So we have a really great border edge. You've got some individual standalone dies, I like to call them. They don't coordinate with a stamped image. Several of those on here. And then you've got dies to cut out every stamped image. Right, so the big one that I'm going to use, and then you've got this one for this flower, this one for this, and this one for the silhouette stamp. So it's a nice set. Then you've got some extra flowers in there too that are just dies that you can add as accents. Sorry about that. There you go. Yep, absolutely. Jeans are important to stamp. So it's a great, great die set, and I'm really happy because I love this set. But I like having the flexibility to either stamp it flat, as I did when I first designed the card, or to pop it up or bump it up a notch by doing a die cut. So I am going to put this on here. I'm going to use some of my magical Post-it note tape that I'm not really sure how I got along without that. It's that, and it's my temporary adhesive that I use when I'm designing so that I can, play with my layouts and make sure I like them before I tape everything down and then have to try to pull it all apart. Those are two workhorses in my studio. All right, so I don't bring my machine onto the table because it rocks and rolls and I don't want you to get seasick. So I'm just going to go over here to my left. I have my machine sitting. It's my die cut and emboss machine, MSU. And people often say to me, well, I have the old Big Shot. I don't think I need the new machine. And you know what? You probably don't. But I will tell you, and we have learned this in my studio very quickly, that this new machine definitely does a better cutting job on detailed dies. So there is our die. Got one little piece in there yet. Oh, two little pieces. And I say that knowing that I didn't clean that out. So let me do that right now. Always make sure there's no paper stuck in your die because that's what happened here. I think I'm going to be okay. So even with all that paper in there, it still cut it out for me. So that's our floral popped. Now we're going to pop it. I've got some dimensionals here in my drawer. Ooh. I want to make sure it stays popped even after it goes through the postal machines, right? tell you what, those postal machines can do a number on your cards. I often have them hand canceled just for that purpose. So we're going to put that right about, I'm going to bring it down a little bit, right about there. And then this we're going to also pop up. I also, when I have long greetings like this, I also love the adhesive strips that are in the annual catalog. They're on the adhesive page, and you can just take a bit of that strip and put it across there, and it keeps it up for you. Pop that right on here, just so the little stem of the flower is behind it. But I really enjoy black and white cards. And I also enjoy black and white cards with a pop of color. Parakeet Party is not one of my reach for all the time colors. So I'm always happy when I find something that I can make with it that I really like. Okay. And then I have the 2022-2024 in color matte decorative dots. And these are ombre. And it's probably hard to see on the parakeet, but maybe you can tell on the Tahitian tide if you haven't seen these in person. This is a real dark Tahitian, and as we move across, it gets lighter. And the same way with the smaller ones. So you do get two sizes of these. And we're just going to add a few on here. I'm going to stay with the same color rather than do an ombre effect on this. And there is card number 1. So very little stamping, right? No coloring on this one at all. Actually, there's no coloring on the next one too. But the flowers do color beautifully because I have done them with the blends. So if you like to color, they're beautiful to color with. All right, so that's project number 1. Oh, thanks, guys. And let's go to project number 2. This one's a little bit different. This one, we're going to bring in some fall colors. What do you think of that one? Rearrange my desk here. These are just falling out of the sky at me. All right, so we have in our colors here, we are using some old olive, we're using some copper foil, some Mary Merlot, some crushed curry designer paper, and some crushed curry cardstock. And then very vanilla, which I'm not a very vanilla person. I often just use basic white. So I kind of encourage myself, hey, it's fall, let's use some vanilla. Again, 8.5 by 5.5, or 8.5 by 5.5. Yes, scored at 4 1/4. Crease the front. Now here's a trick, and you probably know it, but this piece of foil was going to be behind that piece of Mary Merlot, and you weren't going to see it. And that kind of makes me go, that I don't want to do that, right? So I took one of the color and contour dies and cut the center of it out. And you're never going to see it because the Mary Merlot is going to go on top and it'll be hidden. We're going to emboss the Mary Merlot with the painted texture embossing folder. This is absolutely when I just want a little something on the cardstock as far as embossing or texture goes. This is the one I tend to reach for the most right now. But it not only does it save you money, right? Because now I have that piece that I die cut out of the center to use on another project, but it also makes the card a little bit lighter because we're going to have, a few layers here. The painted texture is a 3D embossing folder. So if you're not sure about your sandwiches, it's going to be your base, whatever your base is, without the thin adapter. Your folder with the fold at the top, never put the fold through going through last, right? You can do the side or you can do the top. not in the back. And why is that? Because over time, as the wheels are grabbing it to roll it through the machine, this could get just offset a little bit, cause that to split, and then you're going to lose the ability to get a nice, clean, embossed image, if you will. And then your specialty plate. You might have a gray specialty plate like I do. You might have a blue specialty plate or a bluish purple specialty plate. But that's the sandwich for all 3D embossing folders. The 3Ds are much thicker, so they're easy to tell. And back in the day, before we got the new machine with the gray, I put blue dots on mine to remind my customers when they were using them that this is a 3D folder. So you want to make sure you grab that specialty plate. So this is going to go on top of there. Then I've got some of our Regal's 6x6 Designer Series paper. I went with the polka dots. I typically love the plaid. Should I use the plaid? Let's see what it looks like with the plaid. The winner will get to, yes, definitely save that paper. I agree, Debbie. The winner will get to pick if they like the plaid or the polka dot. So we'll mix it up a little bit. And by the way, that reminds me, I don't think I announced the winner of last week's card. So let me get that after I get this taped down here. And you get entered into the drawing, which is actually a wheel on the computer that I spin, put everybody's name in and spin. This is the card we made last week, right? The Halloween card with that beautiful blending back there. And then the big moon with bats and the spooky house. And the winner of this is Corinne. And Corinne, I don't know if I saw you come on tonight. So you are the winner. Congratulations. And I will get that popped in the mail to you just as soon as I can. Today or tomorrow. Well, it won't go out till tomorrow. It'll be either tomorrow or the next day. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put our foil. Ooh, don't bend it. Put our foil on here. And this is the copper foil. So this is not the one that comes in the brushed metallics. That's not available. That got sold out. Yeah, I love that plaid too. That got sold out during celebration. So this is the copper foil that's available. We have gold and copper. And you get two 12 by 12 sheets in the package. And we're going to put that on the center there. So no one will ever know we got that extra piece out. Okay. And then again, I use the color and contour to cut my rectangles. Okay. Just going to do that. Just cut a little square, just a bit bigger than the stylish shape smallest stitched square. These dies are fabulous. And if you don't have these yet, you really need to get them because you've got your circles, you've got your squares, and you've got your banners, and every one of them has stitching. You've got your matted layers there. I can't remember what the other set was that we had that everybody was crazy over because it was all the geometric shapes, but they listened and this is what they brought us. And I love, love, love these. I reach for these so often. So often. And then of course the Scallop Contours. These were a big hit with everybody when they first came out. These you'll find in the annual catalog. They coordinate with the color and contour stamp set. But there's our frames. This is the one I cut out of the copper, and then stamped images, and then a nice little stitch scallop border that you can use. All right, so we have Sending Cheer. Sending Cheer happens to come out of the Bottled Happiness set. You need something little if you're going to use that tiny little square from Stylish Shapes. What are they called again? The dies I just showed. Oh, they're called Stylish Shapes, and they're in the annual catalog, and they're standalone, so they don't coordinate with a stamp set. So the easiest place to locate them is to go to the back of the catalog where they start with all the dies. And I do believe they're listed back there alphabetically. So I've got some Mary Merlot ink. We're going to put the Sending Cheer in the center of the square. Fits in there perfectly. Hi, Tina. Good to see you. We'll mount that to our square. That's going to end up going right there. Then for the inside, I have a piece of Very Vanilla. And we are going to do the Merry Merlot. And the happy birthday is from the Go-To Greetings. And, you know, they named this stamp set right, because how often do we go to the stamp set for these greetings? I love the different fonts. I love the different sizes. They're the perfect, just simple greeting to put on the inside or the front of your card. Love, love, love them. So we're going to do that right there. Oh, I went uphill. I'm hoping if I bite the bullet and do the eye surgery after the first of the year that I'll get my ability to stamp straight back. And well, I won't get my color ability back, but maybe I'll be able to stamp straight. And then I did the same thing on this card. Just added that silhouette in there. You could add one of those die cut special flowers that are in the dies. But again, you see, we're not doing any coloring here, right? We're just taking it easy on ourselves. So these are quicker cards. Coloring, coloring is beautiful and I love to color too. But when you want a quick card, these are the quicker types of cards. All right, so now we're going to, why did I put those dies away? That was silly. Nope. We get those back out because I need that silhouette die. So the Merry Merlot or the Old Olive? Which one do you love? And we're going to grab the stamp. I'm going to clean that silhouette stamp. And I have to grab a piece of Old Olive. I did not put a piece in my kit. I think because I was using it today, and I actually put it back in its location rather than back in my kit. So I grabbed an extra large piece. We get 2 of them on there. So I'm half packed because I didn't unpack from this weekend. I'm half packed, so trying to find things in my studio is also a little bit of a challenge right now. Old Olive, yeah, it is pretty, isn't it? Great with fall, right? I am a fall girl. I love all things fall, and I love fall colors. So I'm going to take these over here to my machine, and I'm just going to run them through quick. Are you okay? So here's a question. All right, which color family do you gravitate towards? Do you gravitate towards the regals, or towards the subtles, or the brights, or the neutrals? I'm always curious because I know I'm a regal girl. What are you? Number 1. Line that up, put my Post-it note tape back down so it doesn't slide on me. Get out those little centerpieces. I just love that it's got all that detail provided in it, right? These we're going to pop up on our rectangles with some dimensionals. So let's see, who's a regal? Okay, regals and subtles is Connie. What is regal? Regals are like cherry cobbler, old olive, garden green, pumpkin pie, Cajun craze. That's what the regals are. I see subtle. Okay, good. Regals for Debbie. Yeah. Regals and subtles, regals. Bright. Hey, Janine. Bright. Oh, and there's a regal and brights from Sharon. Regals and subtles. Awesome. So I think we have a very equitable distribution. I was trying to think what I would say would be my second one since regals is number one. Truthfully, guys, it might be the neutrals. I like a lot of smoky slate and soft suede and early espresso. I use a lot of that. But you know, when I have a new customer, sometimes the big catalog can be a little bit overwhelming. I don't know if anybody ever felt that way the first time they saw Stampin' Up's large catalog or not. And of course, if they're, you know, an addicted stamper like myself, thus my handle, they want everything, which is how I ended up being a demonstrator. But I often will say to people, they're like, well, I don't know what color to get. And I'm like, think of your closet. What colors are hanging in your closet? Because those are the colors that you're attracted to. Those are the colors you're drawn to, right? And then we can narrow it down. If they say they've got a lot of pastels in their closet, then I send them to the subtles. If they say they have a lot of jewel tones in their closet, then I send them to the regals. If they say they wear nothing but black, they go to neutrals. So think about that sometimes too. If you're trying to figure out what color to add to your collection next, that might help you. All right, so we're going to put these on here just like that. And then this I left flat. I did, of course, pop the little green silhouettes up, but everything else is getting mounted flat. And then here again, this is the fall girl in me, right? The brushed metallic dots, which were in last year's, I call it the holiday catalog, the July through December catalog, came back. You can see these are well loved because look at the mess they're in. But I have that copper foil on there, so I decided I wanted to use an embellishment, and what better than the copper brushed metallic dots. So I just did one in the center of the large, and then I bookended it with the smaller on each side. And that looks pretty straight. So there we go. There is card number 2. And then just as a reminder, on the inside, we did that. I think that is going a little uphill, but we'll be okay. All right, so my closet is bright pink and purple. I love that. Subtles and regals. Okay, Verna. I think I could have guessed that. If you don't know, Verna's my mother-in-law. So I think I could have guessed that she was a subtles and regals lady. But there we go. So there is the fresh cut flowers. And again, this was with the die and this is without the die. And the die just adds a little bit of depth and dimension to it. But I do love those dies, and I love the extra dies that are in that bundle or in that set of die cuts. So hopefully you liked those. Again, if you did, please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, or give me a thumbs up. I am live every Tuesday with very few exceptions. I try not to miss. And we always have fun. We always hang out. I try to make something creative. And hopefully you enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me tonight. I appreciate you doing it. I appreciate your time. And if I can help you at all with your stamping journey, all you have to do is reach out and I will make sure to help in any way I can. All right, guys, have a fabulous night. And if you are around on Facebook ever, you want to hop on over there Thursday morning at 10. I'll be live on Lori Staley Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with coffee and cards. And I think we're using Trimming the Tree. That's another one that's in the Perfect Partners. Thanks so much for watching. Come back again sometime and be safe. Bye, guys.